This is the part that I think most people find confusing. I'll use this for as an example here. Actually, I'm going to redraw that for you. So when I find that an angle, when it's using trigonometry, such as this angle being 30 degrees, I know that no matter what the side lengths are, the ratio between this length of this side and the length of that side is going to be 1 over 2. Whether it's 8 over 16, 5 over 10, 10 over 20, whatever it is, the ratio will be 1 over 2. That's the only way I can create an angle of 30 degrees here. So when I say your trig ratio, when I'm talking about an angle, the sine of any angle is going to give you, it's going to compare the opposite side to the hypotenuse, the lengths of them. All right, that's the first thing that we learn in right angle trig. So what we understand is that each angle is different based on the lengths of those sides. So for sine 30, it's 1 over 2. All right. If it was sine 60, this doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but the actual is root 3 over 2. Okay, so that's the ratio. So that ratio will be the same no matter what. It just, they may change the lengths of them, but the ratio of those angles has to be the same. So if I'm looking at (150 degrees, the ratio of the length of the sides will be 1 over 2 again, because it's going to be the same as whatever 30 degrees is. So what we're going to look at today is, I mentioned this to you yesterday, that there are 3 possibilities when you draw triangles. The first one is that there are no triangles based on the lengths given to you and the angle. There's one triangle, or there's 2 triangles. Now, if it's an obtuse triangle, there's only going to be 1 triangle. If that angle is greater than 90 degrees, there's only going to be 1 triangle available. But when you use your sine ratios, it's going to give you an acute angle. So you have to then know to take 180 and subtract that angle. But what we are going to do today is we are going to just quickly look at what happens. This would be side A over here, side B right there, and angle B. Okay, so the first bit of information that you're going to want to copy down and you're going to want to is on that page 92. And it talks about all of the scenarios that can happen and how you end up with 0, 1, or 2 triangles. So the first thing, for me to have 1 triangle, the length of A has to be straight down. And I'm going to call that my height. Okay? In order for 1 triangle, that means that the length of side A given to you has to equal H. That will create 1 triangle. So they're going to give you the lengths of 2 sides and one of the angles that's across from the side. So I set it up each time I set it up this way. Okay? So if side A is given, you have to calculate H. That's the first thing you do in all of these questions, is calculate what H is. If side A is equal to H, you're going to have 1 triangle. If side A is less than H, no triangle. Then this length of this is not going to hit the other side. Therefore, I have 0 triangles. Okay? You need to pay attention here. I'm not explaining this to you again in 5 minutes. A equals H, 1 triangle. A is less than H, 0 triangles. Now here's where it gets a little bit, if the height is less than A. So that means that A is slightly greater than H.
Bless you.
But less
Bless you.
than B. So that means that A is larger than H, but smaller than this length right here. I'm going to have two triangles. All right.
So are we going to come across a situation where A would be larger than B or not?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're just getting there, Austin.
Sorry.
Okay. If A is larger than B, if A is larger than B, I have one obtuse triangle. This is at the top of page 93. The top of 93. So if A is larger than B, okay, you're going to have one triangle in which this angle would have to be greater than 90 degrees. And if you think about it, if this side is larger than this side, then this side has to be a much larger angle than that, because the longest side and the largest angle are across from each other. Okay? So here's all your scenarios that can happen. So the first thing that you do when given or presented with an equation is you find out what the minimum height value is. Okay? So actually do this. So here's an equation, here's a question. Okay. So first questions that they're going to ask you is determine how many triangles that you have in this question. That's the first thing they're going to ask you. So that's what we practice first. So the first thing that we have to do then is find what?
The height?
The height. So you've got to find the height. Now remember, it makes a right angle here, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So now you're talking right angle trig, and then let's be honest, it's always going to be sine. So the sine of 50 degrees is equal to h over 18. So that's the first thing you do. Calculate what h is. So what's sine of 50 times 18?
13. How many decimals are around 2, 3?
Yep.
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Okay. They gave us side A as 9. So how many triangles do I have here?
You don't have one.
How come?
Because 9's not equal to, it's not greater than the height.
It's not greater than the height. It's not the same as the height. You have 0 triangles here. Think about it as a string. If this is 9 centimeters, but this height is 13 centimeters, you can't hit the far side, can you? So there's 0 triangles here. So give me the length of A such that I'd have one triangle.
13.7.
8, 9.
8, 9. That's right. That would be one triangle. Now, let's solve the whole question as if that side length is 15. So if it's 15, how many triangles am I supposed to have?
1, 2, 2.
2. Greater than H, smaller than B. Greater than H, smaller than B. 2 triangles. Okay? So here's the process in which we solve this question. All right? First thing we do is use our law of sines to get angle B. So for every one of these questions that I ask you to solve, you must have 3 angles, 3 sides, 2 triangles for both. So you're looking for a lot of information on this question. All right, this is 50 degrees right here. This was 15 right here. This is 18 right here. Find B first. So use your law of sine. Sine B over 18 equals sine of 50 over 15. So what is angle B?
Aw.
66.8.
3 decimal places.
817.
66.817. Now calculate angle C. Perfect. Okay. So now I've got to find one more side. That is side C right here. So C over the sine of 63.183 equals 15 over sine 50. Side C is equal to
17. 475,000.
17 point what, sorry?
475. Why didn't I find the height in this one?
Why didn't I have to? We
Yeah.
already did. Found it right here.
Oh, it's the same one.
So he just changed the side length to make sure that it was longer than the height.
Okay, so far? Yes?
Yeah.
Right, so you've done this already, right? You've already done this. So here is the part of the question that changes. Okay, is everybody following now? So we've already done all this. We did this last unit. There's my information. Okay? So, first thing I gotta find is, nope, we already did height. We did height already. So I gotta find angle. So I gotta find angle B first. So set it up. Sine B over 18 equals sine 15. So what does B equal? 66.817. But that's the same as the last triangle.
You have to subtract it from 180.
Yes, you do. So now I take 180. So what did we say this was? 66.187?
817.
817. Okay. Angle B now for this triangle is 180 minus that 66.187. What do I get?
113. 183. 83.
That? Okay. Now what's angle C?
Oh, it's the. I don't think we did something right.
It's fine.
16.
What do you get?
16 and 817.
Oh, 180 subtract 50. Subtract.
16.817. Amber, is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I need side C.
5.
5.665.
Just 5.
That is the only part that has changed from what you did last unit to today. That circle part right there. Everything else, you solved triangles in the last unit using law of sines, right?
Mhm.
The only thing that you have to change is finding that angle as an obtuse angle. That's it. Nothing new. That's all there is to it today. So all these questions that you're working on right now, you're doing the exact same thing you've already done. The only change is when you need an obtuse angle, you subtract your angle, 66.817 from 180 to get that. Okay?
And that always works.
Every single time.
It's because they're moving it from here to
So-
here with the same length, right?
Yeah. That's right. So the first thing that you have to do is just find the height to make sure you know where A and B is, how many triangles you're gonna have. That's step one. Once you've done step one, then you're into law of sines. And on the second triangle, this triangle here, you have to subtract that from 180. Okay? Any questions about that so far? Nothing's new to you, other than one time you have to take 180, subtract an angle. That's all there is new. Okay?
Alright, let's work.
Alright, so you have 4-1, 4-2. Now you can, if you're finished that, you can get on to 4-3.